There's a new retirement program for the deep state. For the CIA, FBI, NSA, DEA, even some military generals. It's a new nursing home for the intelligence community, the has-beens and the also-rans with the leathery skin and the liver spots and jowls down to the floor. They don't have to be Walmart greeters anymore. This is very exciting. They're no longer put out to pasture. Now they're put out to the mainstream media. They're just propped up like Weekend at Bernie's and trotted out there to tell lies to the American people right next to Chuck Todd on Meet the Press. It's very exciting. The latest example is former director of the CIA, John Brennan, who was hired a couple of weeks ago by NBC News to be their senior national security and intelligence analyst. And because he spent so long with the CIA, he is an expert at lying to the American public. He is highly qualified to be on MSNBC. He is. That's what the CIA does. They lie to us. In fact, they even had a program for it. Operation Mockingbird was a secret program begun in the 1950s in which the CIA recruited leading American journalists into a network to help present the CIA's views. And there's no evidence the program ever ended. So knowing that, and knowing John Brennan was a guy who oversaw the CIA's illegal drone bombing program, why would you ever have him on to tell you the truth? That's like hiring the head of British Petroleum to teach you about solar power. It doesn't make, it's nonsense. But as if that's not enough, Brennan has other conflicts of interest. He's a full-on war profiteer. He was the CEO of the Analysis Corporation, which was the intelligence solutions business of Global Defense Technology and Systems Incorporated, now renamed Sotera Defense Solutions, a defense contracting company. Defense contracting company means weapons dealer. That's all it is, which it means making money from war. That's all it is. If there's no war, then there's no money for them. Peace is not profitable. But of course, NBC is not the exception to the rule. They're one of many. CNN employs former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper and former CIA Director Michael Hayden. Ah, yes, James Clapper. My good friend Clapper, perhaps best known for lying straight-faced under oath to Congress, saying the U.S. government doesn't collect data on millions of Americans. And nothing, like Martha Stewart lied about a stock trade and ended up in the pokey, all right? This guy fucking lies to Congress and gets rewarded with a job on primetime. But I'm sure that just because he did that, I'm sure he won't do. I'm sure he'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to you, me, and Anderson Cooper. Of course, he and Anderson should have a lot to talk about since Anderson Cooper was an intern at the CIA. Hey, Clappy! Hey, Clappy! Let's talk about how we were both in the deep state. You want it? Yeah? Do you remember the handshake? Secret handshake, right? And Clapper has made some dough from the private side of the military-industrial complex. I mean, what's the point if you don't cash in the chips, right? From 2006 to 2007, Clapper worked for GOI Satellite Company. In October 2006, as Chief Operating Officer for the British intelligence company, Dedica, now DFI and US-based subsidiary of BAE Systems, also SRA International, and Booz Allen Hamilton. Jesus, Clapper! Get a hold of yourself, man! Is there any awful military / surveillance contractor you won't get in bed with? I hope you're using some plastic sheets or something, because you're a dirty whore. You are, yeah. I don't know if you knew this, Clapper's actually his nickname. Side note, if he was working for a British military intelligence company, did he register as a foreign agent during that? Because that sounds like some foreign agent shit right there. That's what that sounds like. Not only did he not register, but often when he's on TV, they don't even say that he gets or has gotten money from war. It should say on the bottom third of the screen, war profiteer, naughty whore. Just right there. Naughty whore. And Michael Hayden, besides being former director of the CIA, is also a principal in the Chertoff Group, a security consultancy. The Chertoff Group was founded by Michael Chertoff, former Secretary of Homeland Security. Are you starting to see how this all works? People like Chertoff and Hayden, they run around going, oh, America is fucked! We need more security! We need weapons and jets and full-body scanners at the airports. Then our government puts in full-body scanners at the airport because apparently the TSA guy losing his wristwatch up your butt wasn't enough. And you and me, through all of that, are never told Chertoff Group represents manufacturers of the scanners. So these guys push for open-ended war, and then their companies and lobbying groups and their think tanks rake in the profits. 4 years ago, Michael Hayden was asked, should Obama promise not to put boots on the ground in Syria?
There's just going to have to be some faith and confidence between the president and the Congress. The Congress can't think of all the possible circumstances they might want to limit the president on. And frankly, the president can't live with very limited freedom of action when he's going to put Americans into harm's way.
Don't limit your options. Send a bunch of guys in and see what happens, you know? Harm's way is the profitable way.
I'll give you my personal thought. Making a political decision to, on a relatively significant scale, to kill people and break things in someone else's country, that sounds like war.
And that motherfucker has been killing people and breaking things in other countries for a long time. They sold us the war in Syria. They sold us the new Cold War with Russia. They're selling us the impending war with North Korea. And look at these fucking stocks shoot through the roof. Oh my God, it's incredible. This is the stock value of the actual charts of our biggest weapons contractors. Do you notice something? Flaccid, rock hard, right there. This is about the time they started pushing us that we have to go in to Syria, right? Then the new Cold War. This is the weapons industry getting a fucking boner for armed conflict. That's what it is. That's what it is. Well, okay, I've given examples from NBC, MSNBC, CNN. How about Fox News? I'm sure they're better. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Their senior strategic analyst is General Jack Keane, former Vice Chief of Staff of the Army. But what financial gain would Keane get from pushing for war? Well, Keane currently sits on the board of directors of General Dynamics and is a consultant strategic advisor for Academy. Oh, just General Dynamics, the world's 5th largest defense contractor. And what the hell is Academy? Well, it's the new name of Z, which is the new name of Blackwater, which is the mercenary force known for their brutality and slaughter of innocent people in Iraq. That's right. Blackwater is so gross, they required 2 name changes. That's some crazy ass shit. 2 name change gross is very rare, all right? Very, even Philip Morris was only 1 name change gross. It was. And they killed millions of people. So, Jack Keane, you're on the payroll of one of the biggest weapons contractors and one of the biggest mercenary forces and one of the biggest propaganda outlets, and you run around selling us war. You couldn't be any worse of a human being if you moonlighted as an involuntary organ donation surgeon. You know, just, surprise, I got your kidney. These are war salesmen, and we should look at them no differently than salesmen. They come into your home via the television, the internet, and they ring your doorbell, ding dong, hi! I was wondering if you're satisfied with the amount of war in your life. You know, could you use a little more death and destruction? And most people go, oh, you know, I think we're okay. We just had some military action like a couple of months ago. And then a good salesman goes, well, I hear you, I feel the same way, but it is getting quite dangerous out there with the Syrians and the Russians and the North Koreans. Can you really put a price on your family's safety? It's a limited time offer. And then over and over and over again, America goes, okay, I guess, just a little bit, just a little bit. It's a limited time offer, just a little bit. But let's call a spade a spade. War is organized human murder. And it's not an easy sell. It's not an easy sell. It's not easy to convince generally good people in this country that we need to be involved in organized human murder on a massive scale. An immense propaganda machine is needed to make something so morally reprehensible seem even mildly okay. It requires 24/7 control of our media. It requires a countless number of salesmen and women doing an endless song and dance. It requires tirelessly reminding America that we must always be afraid and always be killing others to ensure our security. You can't sell endless organized human murder like it's a car commercial once every Saturday. Yeah, you need some serious promotion. You need some Geico level shit, all right? You do, to pass this off. And of course, our corporate media benefit tremendously from this. They get good ratings. They get to make the war-hungry politicians happy with them. And the politicians and the generals then come on their airwaves because they know they're going to get a friendly, fawning interview. So the networks get access to them. And the networks are able to make their sponsors happy because their big sponsors are Boeing and Raytheon, ExxonMobil, Lockheed Martin. Because there's no money in peace. There's no good ratings in peace. No one flips on their news channel to watch a sunny day or a calm beach or a chubby dad quietly putting sealant on his deck. No, you flip on the TV to watch the new season of War. Stop watching the war salesman. Change the channel. Invest your time and energy and your brain power into something else. I don't even care what it is at this point. Building a model train, making fun of your neighbor's kids, playing with your balls. I don't care. Just something. So I want to jump into the cavalcade of catastrophic idiocy that is Meet the Press with Tuck Chod. And yes, his name should be Tuck Chod. It fits so much better. Let's start out with their take on the upcoming talks between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un of North Korea.
Let me move to North Korea. And he's been tweeting about it this morning about it. But I want to put up something that Ari Fleischer, a veteran of the Bush administration, who sort of has some scar tissue on North Korea. And he writes this: call me a cynic, but based on history, one, they'll suspend today and begin again tomorrow.
Hold on. Think about this. Who is Ari Fleischer? He says he has a scab in the game or whatever the hell expression he uses. Ari Fleischer was the guy that lied to America. His job was to lie to America. He was the press secretary under George W. Bush, one of the most catastrophic presidencies. The guy that created, or at least was president at the time. I mean, we know he's not smart enough to create it, but president at the time when we invaded Iraq, killing about 1 million people, and that guy, Ari Fleischer, was in charge of lying to us and telling us all is well. Go back to sleep, America. And then once he was done with that job, he also lied on behalf of the NFL. He did media consulting for them. That's Ari Fleischer. Those were his jobs. And now Chuck Todd is going to go to him for advice on North Korea. It's like asking Wile E. Coyote how to catch a roadrunner. You should get banned from journalism the moment you put up that tweet, Tuck Chod. And then and based on history, that was what Ari Fleischer's tweet said, based on history, we shouldn't trust you at all, like at all.
One, they'll suspend today and begin again tomorrow. Two, they have alternative sites to carry out their mission. And three, they're lying now or will lie tomorrow. This is how NK behaves. Remember the agreed framework. What has the United States gotten from North Korea?
Again, this is Ari Fleischer saying North Korea lies? He was a professional liar. That was his job. No one even argues with that. I'd like to meet someone that argues that his job was not to lie on behalf of the White House in front of America. I don't even know a Republican that would argue with that. They'd be like, yeah, well, I love George Bush, but yeah, his job was to lie to America. Honestly. And yet he's going to accuse North Korea of being a liar. It's like, why would you ever... But furthermore, here's what Meet the Press does so brilliantly, all right? They don't couch anything for you in the real historical context. Let's think about this. We killed a third of North Korea's population, all right? That's not debatable. Between 20 and 30% of North Korea's population, we massacred during the Korean War. So I think any discussion on North Korea has to start with that, begin with that. Let's talk about this. Oh, yeah, we massacred a third of their population. Should they trust us? Oh, maybe not if we massacred a third of their population. That should be the discussion. That's how it should go. That's how it should be couched. And let's think a little further. Okay, so maybe we want to bomb North Korea to stop them from having nuclear weapons. Let's imagine the best case scenario. We bomb a few of their missile sites. They maybe only get off one missile, but we take out their entire capability. And what do? Kill a few thousand innocent North Koreans? Let's say North Korea gets off only one missile and kills many thousand Japanese or whatever, Guam or whatever they hit. Like, it's utterly insane, and yet this fucking show, Meet the Press, is pushing for that. Pushing for us to continue in a Cold War, on the brink of a hot war with North Korea. That's what this segment is doing. Let's go to Ari Fleischer. He's going to tell you what to think. And then, at the end of that clip, Chuck Todd goes, what do we get? What do we get from North Korea, right? That's what he says. What do we get from them? What entitled us to get anything from North Korea? Here's something else that Tuck Chod won't tell you, is how many nukes do we have? We have thousands of nuclear missiles. Thousands, all right? So for us to be like, oh, we're the moral authority. Listen, imagine someone massacres, kills a third of the people in your household. Like a third of your kids, and maybe your mother lives there, kills a third of your pets, kills a third of your household, and then says to you, by the way, I'm the moral authority here. You may not have knives or guns. Yes, I killed a third of your household, but let's just agree, I'm the moral authority. You may not have knives or guns. This is not saying that North Korean society is wonderful. It's just saying, who the fuck are we?
What has the United States gotten from North Korea? He's done temporary everything, but he's not made a pledge on denuclearization this last time. He hasn't released these hostages yet. We've given him the meeting. That in itself is a huge give. What have we gotten in return?
Oh, is that in itself a huge gift? Tuck Chod, is it? To meet with Donald Trump? Are we not all in agreement that Donald Trump is a fucking con artist, salesman, a snake oil salesman who can't read barely? Like, you basically agree with that half of your show. You never say, like, oh, Donald Trump, what a brilliant president. And yet this meeting with him is supposed to be some kind of gift. We've already given him the meeting. That is a massive gift on our part. You're disgusting. This whole segment is designed to push American sentiment, American belief, American thought towards continuing basically a Cold War, possibly a hot war with North Korea. That's how the whole segment is set up. We gave them a huge gift with this meeting with Donald Trump. What do we get in return? Furthermore, we all know Trump changes his mind, his promises day to day. He may say something in a meeting, means nothing the following day. Why would a meeting with Trump matter at all? If we want peace, if we want a world where people aren't obliterated by our bombs and other bombs from other countries, shouldn't we want this meeting? Shouldn't we want diplomacy at all cost? Like, isn't that what we should want? Whether it's meeting with Donald Trump or somebody else or whatever, just eases the fucking, vibe, the culture, so that we're not going to war and killing people. And yet this segment on NBC, your lovely corporate news, wants to tell you, no, we need to hate North Korea. We need to want war. We need to not want them to meet with our leaders. What purpose does that serve? We've invaded and killed millions in countless other countries, all right? How many has North Korea killed in other countries in the past, let's say, 4 decades? How many invasions of other countries? How many missiles have been dropped in the Middle East thanks to North Korea? What gives us the moral authority to say, oh, we gave you a meeting? None of this is, at least that discussion should be held. You can argue with me on this. You can argue, Lee, we are the moral authority. Fine, but have that discussion. Meet the Press cannot have that discussion. They would never have that discussion. We don't give a shit about their civilians in North Korea. You know, that's the other thing, is we're like, oh, North Korea, Kim Jong-un's so bad to his people. People are starving over there. We like when they're starving. Tillerson, I played a clip on this show not long ago of Tillerson back when he was Secretary of State, talking about how great our sanctions were working because people are starving over there. Because fishermen go out and they're fishing longer and longer, days on end, and they die. And it creates ghost ships that drift ashore of other countries. And he was saying that proves our sanctions are working. Meaning starving North Korea it's great. It means we're doing a good job. My point out of all this is to say, look how this is couched. We should have a discussion about North Korea and how this is all being couched, how it's being discussed. Meet the Press will never have that talk with you. They will never give you that information. Instead, they just set it up as, what do we get? We're meeting with him. What do we get?